Hello, friends, and welcome. I just wanted to make a short little video today to share with you two spiritual practices from our household that you might want to observe as we transition from one year to the other on New Year's Eve. My assistant, Wonder Cat Aiden, is nearby. He may pop up and down, so I hope you'll be gracious about that. First of all, is when we want to let go an old year, there's different ways to do that, but a practice that's developed in my household that was inspired by a friend from Ecuador who told me about cleansing fires that are set in the village center, and people burn things on New Year's Eve as a way of releasing or letting go of hurtful things from the past year. One of the practices I like to do on New Year's Eve, and I usually start around 10 o'clock at night or something, I have a bunch of little strips of paper that I've already cut, just skinny little pieces of paper, and I write on them. I think about the year before, and I might think about something that was really difficult, maybe a time I really disappointed myself or I wasn't my best self. And I will write down, get out my pen, and I write down on that little piece of paper something from the past year. Sometimes it's not even a specific event. It might be an attitude that I noticed I carried a lot. I can tell you one of the things that I had a lot last year, I bet you did too, was fragility. It was a year filled with a lot of fragility because of the COVID, and I want to release that and leave that in the old year. So like I said, I write things down. You can write them for other people's too, but I really encourage you to think about your own life. What did you experience, did you do in the past year that you just really want to release before you enter a new year? So have lots of little pieces of paper together, write them up. And then I like to do this before midnight. I tend to do it kind of close to midnight, but like 11:45, something like that. And then I have a fireproof bowl here. This is a stone bowl, but you could have a metal bowl or a glass bowl. You want something that's fireproof. If you're afraid of just not being a safe thing to do indoors, do it outside. But I will put down a cookie sheet, I put down metal cookie sheets, I put this on top, and then I do it. And what I do is I read out loud the thing I'm releasing, and then I set it on fire. I usually have a candle nearby, set it on fire, and then I put it in the bowl and I let it burn. And I do that till I've burnt all the things that I do not want to carry with me into the new year. And I found this practice of releasing and burning to be extremely helpful spiritually. You can do it anytime. You can release your burdens anytime. But I really like ending the year out, just letting go of a lot. So that's one of my fire practices for ending the new year well. Handing over to God what has in the past. Sometimes I'll ask specifically for healing. If something happened that was hurtful, I'll say, I'm giving this to you, God. So it's a prayer and it's an action and it's a ritual for releasing what needs to be released and not carried forward. And then the other fire practice, this comes out of Irish tradition. Apparently, and it's still done in some places, but on New Year's Eve, people often go to the local church, and there will be a Christ candle burning a flame, and people come and they have a little service, and they bring, Aiden just jumped down, the camera's probably rocking. They will bring something to light to carry the Christ light from the church into their homes. And so it might be a bucket of coal that they will light, a piece of coal or a piece of wood that they can carry home. So what we do in our household is that as we get closer and closer to the new year beginning, as midnight approaches, we turn off the lights in the house. One by one, we turn all the lights off so that the house gets dark. And then usually the neighborhood is noisy enough to know when the new year has actually come, when the new year is here with us. Then I light my household Christ candle that I lit for the first time after Christmas Eve service was over, when we celebrated the birth of Christ. And so my first action in the new year is to light the Christ candle, to invoke the presence of the living Christ into my household, into my home, into my heart, into our world. And it's a time of prayer. The first few seconds, the moments of New Year's, it's very quiet, it's very contemplative, but for me, again, very, very meaningful. And then afterwards, I might, do more social, noisy things. But especially if you're not in a big social setting this year, which many of us aren't, to be so COVID safe, I encourage you to listen to your heart and to find really gentle, quiet ways to very appropriately release the old year and very appropriately receive the new year. We're going to enter a new year wiser, and I think very hopeful, but also inspired to make this new year a better year. So I just wanted to send you a little bit of big love to share with you rituals that you can do at home with whatever you have. And most of all, I just want to send you some big love as we get ready to release an old year. May God be with you. Take care. I love you. Bye-bye.